where God can do. Nothing a day where God can do.
This work is far bigger than I could ever have imagined it would be. You know, I never planned to go to Ukraine. I never planned to go to Zambia. I never planned to go to Nepal. And yet those are places that the Lord has opened up to us.
Music and World Cultures began in 1989 when my father visited Taliabo, Indonesia. There he saw a need to train the local church in music and worship leadership. This was a tribe that had completely changed their ways from worshiping Satan to worshiping the Lord, and they had no idea what to do next with their music. At MIWC, we believe everyone should be able to praise and worship God with their own words, with their own instruments, and in their own musical style, so that they can worship God in the language of their heart. My name is Stephen Bentham, and Music and World Cultures is my passion. The need for culturally relevant worship training intensified, and as the success in Indonesia led to requests from other churches and other places, my wife and I found ourselves called to Ukraine in 1997. There, in the shadows and left in the void created by communism's fall, was a musical people who had seen their faith silenced, their spiritual beliefs belittled and oppressed.
If you've stolen their music, if you've told them that they will go to prison for educating their children, worshiping together, then people bit by bit will understand or begin to feel that Christians were an uncultured people. They were uncivilized. About 2 or 3 days into that first trip, this old man came out to me, and he wasn't dressed very well. He could barely walk, and he had a triangular instrument under his arm, and it was called a Bela. It had 3 strings on it. And he brought me a piece of music that was dog-eared and torn, and I was afraid if I moved it too much, it would break. You knew that this was a sacred thing for him. And he gave it to me, not knowing if I could play piano or not. And in that moment, I'm thinking, Lord, thank you for my parents who made me take piano lessons. I have no idea what he's saying, and I'm trying to figure out and feel, what's happening, because musicians speak non-verbally to each other. Once I listened to him, and I, as the outsider, adjusted to him, we connected. And bit by bit, people would begin to gather around us, and you could see these faces that had been just neutral. The eyes would begin to light up, and people would begin to laugh, and you could see the relaxation in the room.
Since that trip, Music and World Cultures has been on the ground in Ukraine, training local musicians and helping to bring song back into the church. MIWC associates have trained Ukrainians in not only practical music, but in biblically sound worship practices and leadership, teaching people how to lead in their own church, in their own language, and incorporating their own culture's style. Their enthusiasm spread. The MIWC model in Ukraine launched Ukrainians into nearby places like the Republic of Georgia, Estonia, and the Baltics, and then far beyond.
If it had been me only going back and forth to Ukraine, the Baltics would have never happened. Georgia would have never happened. Some of the other closed countries where we are working would have never happened.
Across the globe, word of MIWC's ministry work spread, leading to people reaching out for help. From the mountains of Nepal, where the church is growing despite intense governmental oppression, to the plateaus of Zambia, where they fight disease for basic survival, from the still secluded tribes of Brazil to the villages of Georgia that border Islamic countries, from the secularized streets of Western Europe to the Baltics, where opinions of those of faith devolve more with each passing day.
The first thing they asked for is, can you come and visit us? They want to know that they're not alone. They say, we see what your mission is doing, and we think that you can help us reach our own people with music and with art in a way that we don't know how to do. Can you bring what you're doing, which is different than any other mission agency in the world, and train us?
In all of these places, desire to worship God in their heart's language grows. And MIWC needs help to reach all of the corners of the globe where believers have asked for help. Help them learn to be better musicians, to be better leaders, to spread the message of God's love and salvation through Jesus.
When you see people who suddenly understand that God speaks their language, their eyes light up as if the world has changed for them.
90% of Jamaicans speak patois, but the Bible that they hear and read in church is the King James English translation from hundreds of years ago. They don't even understand that language.
God loved the world so much.
Right now in Jamaica, MIWC's Joanne Richards-Goff is bringing the Patois New Testament to the public. When they hear the Word of God in Patois for the very first time,
But them are going to live
their lives are forever changed.
and ever.
Our goal isn't to export music. Our goal is to find the music that already speaks to those people's hearts so that they aren't distracted by the music when they worship God. At Musical World Cultures, we have seen that the most effective way to work is through empowering and training nationals to work in their own home countries and their own home communities. We aren't looking to build buildings for ourselves, but we're looking to build the kingdom. We need your help. We need your prayers, but we also need your financial support in ways that we never have before. The invitations and the calls that we've received in the last 2 years require tens of thousands of more dollars in donations than we've ever had at any time in our past.
Can you help us equip, encourage, and empower others to be able to truly worship Christ from their hearts?